After 90 holes of disc golf, we are finally here to the final 9 of the 2022 Masters Disc Golf World Championships. From Peoria, Illinois, it's the FP40 division. Ace Run Pro producing our coverage, and thanks to Gatekeeper Media for the graphics, Grant Zellner and Jennifer Allen calling this final round.
Yeah, what a long, beautiful week we've had here in Illinois. 9 more holes. This is an unusual, it felt like a ring of fire warming up, all divisions coming out to Northwood. So we have as young as 8-year-olds all the way up to, was 70th? Was this group of 70s or
80,
highest?
I believe, yeah.
80. So all ages here at Northwood. Owen Scoggins, always making a good laugh. That
Jennifer
is myself.
Allen. Yeah, let me introduce you. Gilbert, Arizona, charging into second place there during the semifinals. And Holly Finley from Bell Buckle, Tennessee, a staple in the lead group during the majority of this week.
Yeah, we also have Stephanie Vincent out of Austin, Texas. Yeah, her first Masters tournament.
Yeah.
And so she has a strong tournament here. We're starting the final 9 at hole number 1. Very tight tee shot. You need to make the disc fly straight through all of these trees. And the basket sits off 312 feet down to the right. One of the fastest greens probably on the course. Lots of stuff to hit and bump and roll your disc all the way down that very steep hill.
Congratulations on making the finals, all right?
Thank you. Congratulations. Good job, everybody. Congratulations. Congratulations. Sounds like she's saying graduation.
Congratulations.
English.
The FP40 group. First off of the box, from Los Angeles, California, Scoggins.
Big galleries.
Big galleries, and Owen has had a commanding lead now for several rounds in a row.
Yeah, we've got all the divisions down to 4 players. Owen turns that a little too hard. She wanted it low to try to stay in the
Next
middle
up,
there, but she gets a little kick off to the left.
From Gilbert, Arizona, Jennifer Allen.
I throw my champion Mako 3 here to try to just hold this nice straight line, which it does. And I was afraid it was never going to stop.
Wow.
But catches a little bit of a stop on that
From
tree.
Bell Buckle, Tennessee, Holly Finley.
Holly also going with a Mako. She chooses the Star Plastic. For the same reasons, though, we throw a flip-up hyzer to try to ride that straight fairway. Holly's hyzers off a little bit more than mine did and keeps her up on top.
From Austin, Texas, Stephanie Vincent.
Stephanie Vincent, a player with a lot of power.
Stephanie throws a Stingray Tour Series of a very good friend of hers, Des Redding.
Gets that one to the ground just a little bit early. So Owen to play first.
And you have to really commit to this shot, not get too much height or speed on it to keep it up on the top plateau. I was mentioning the big galleries that are out here today. Unfortunately, these wooded shots, they don't be able to kind of come all the way down in there with us probably as much as they'd like to.
Little jump there, right at the base of the pole.
We know that there's no way to go past fourth. And so I think you'll see a lot of us really running kind of everything here. Unfortunately, Holly is right of chains and goes down the hill. She's going to have just as much to come back. She's out of circle 1. Luckily, that one hits and stays on top because I've seen a lot of rollaways just hitting the cage just like Holly did on that one.
A lot of cameras surrounding this group, in part because local news and sports authorities were out here getting some shots of the end of this World Championships. I actually caught it on TV purely coincidentally myself, and it was a really, really cool few moments there watching disc golf get recognized.
So Holly taps in the bogey. Stephanie and I tapping in our pars. And we're heading off to hole number 2.
Hole number 2 is a par 3 measuring just 198 feet, but most of those feet steeply uphill.
Well, it's just that last little section is a very steep green, but there is a lot of very small skinny trees. You can pick the small gap here on the left as the drone is flying. There is a straight line as well as a hyzer line. So a lot of ways you can try to get your disc to get up to the basket. The problem usually is getting it to stay by the basket. Owen's been taking this hyzer route all week long. Unfortunately, that's the first time that she catches the tree there.
Which gap are you looking at?
I missed my gap. I was trying to go a little bit more of the hyzer gap. Early release, that's an X3 AVR, so stable putter, gets me a kickoff to the left. Stephanie hits this. Ooh, I thought she did hit that. I forgot. She did squeak it by. I think in our heads we'd already like looking away because we were afraid to watch it hit. She's going to make it all the way up there, inside or just outside the circle. Holly is a magic worker on turnovers. We thought that was way closer than it actually, I guess, was, but unfortunately she takes a massive roll away. And so that's what we're talking. It's like hitting the line is just part of it on hole number 2. Mm-hmm. Getting your drive to stay right up there is really kind of the harder thing to do here.
Holly landed a drive earlier in the week in the little hollow right next to the base of the basket.
Owen catching another tree, but she's going to have a roll to where she can save par. I was trying to decide between a hyzer putt or a turnover putt. Chose the Annie route to try to get my putter to lay flat along the slope of that hill, trying to prevent any rollaways. Every stroke now really does matter.
So Holly's rollaway takes her down close to 60 feet away or so, places her upshot there for a stress-free par.
Owen's usually hitting those for birdie. That's still a wonderful putt to save her par. Stephanie has a long look here and slams it in there for the only 2 on hole number 2.
Little turbo par save there for you, Jen, and Holly also able to save the par after that dramatic roll away from a drive that bounced off the base of the pole, or close to it anyway. It sure looked like it bounced off of one of those roots or poles or something right there. Owen Scoggins keeping that commanding lead as we move on to the third hole, a 219-foot par 3, playing up and onto the top of a plateau.
Yeah, very steep uphill that you want to not get too high because the basket sits just over the crest of it. Trying to hit that skinny little gap right in between those at a good height gets you usually a park job. There is a forehand route that can hyzer back in and usually give you a good look at birdie as well. Stephanie's been taking this straight gap all week long, hits that line perfectly, does it again today, slides the rest of the way up. And that's why I was saying the height of the disc, really doesn't need to be that high or you're going to cruise on past the basket. So no grass up here. On taking the big forehand. She doesn't take quite as wide gap as she's been going all week, so she's going to end off to the right side, but that's inside circle 1. I don't put quite enough spin to make that disc hold the turn. Maybe even got a little bit of a kick, but I end up pretty far out to the left side. Holly going with that Mako flip up hyzer that glides perfectly straight, slides right up there to the basket.
Great shot there. So you're off to the left here.
Maybe like 75 feet. I can't remember, but can't see the basket, so just giving a nice little safe toss. Unfortunately, I don't have the look to maybe get a star frame for these ladies. They're all pretty close. And owns a great putter. So I was going to say, I don't want to be a spoiler alert. But anytime owns inside circle, she's usually going to hit that putt. Stephanie and Holly nice and close to get their birdies as well.
Good pass, Stephanie. Good Nice birdie.
Dropping in. All of a sudden, we're playing very, very quickly. Despite the challenge of Northwood Blue.
We won't be playing the full front 9. We will be skipping holes number 7 and 10 and finishing on hole 11 here. But right now we're on hole number 4, 276 feet, par 3. Tight gap that the drone is going is typically not the way that we like to throw it. We take the hyzer route and try to get right in front of those 2 trees there in the middle of the fairway. A little bit of grass that we try to get over and up to that basket right there. Steep hill behind, so you have to kind of watch your speed coming in.
Hoping to kind of get a skip around the corner. Challenging with the grass being as thick as it is? Or do you try to fly it all the way there?
No, you try to get around those trees, and I think whatever happens after that, you just take.
You take that if that's what works out for you, or you take...
Yeah, sometimes you get the skip, sometimes you don't, and it just kind of patches of really thick grass there. Stephanie gets a good skip and roll right up to the basket. She's started this final 9 extremely hot, putting a lot of pressure on me.
That might be a little bit of the other result you were talking about.
So Own had a great shot. She's usually been skipping it up there close, but she catches just a thicker patch. And so we don't really know where those are. We just try to hit the line and then see what happens. Holly throws a katana there, and it doesn't have the sharp turn to get her quite over there. I'm going with a Champion Firebird. So mine is going to cut left a lot harder than Holly's did.
Oh, boy.
I had no clue until now how close that was. The gallery went crazy. They could see it. I didn't. I thought I hit cage maybe. Wow. Well, run it back for me so I can get one more look at how close I was to almost acing in the final 9. These baskets, man, hold on to something. Owen and I love to have a good time, so they missed our little dance we did before hole 1, but great group of women here to play our last 9 holes.
Owen.
Thank you.
Great run there. There's Holly inside the circle. Nice birdie effort there from Holly.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of a roll downhill. Luckily, that did not roll past that point. Past that point is a very steep part, so that would have been a tragic almost ace to all the way down the hill. So I guess I can say I got lucky.
Well,
kind of lucky.
The chain slowed you down there.
Tried to get the Ace Run Pro on Sports Center. Come on, basket.
Easily the best that I've seen hole number 4 played all week long. 3 birdies and a 45 or 50 foot chain out that would have been a birdie. So 3 birdies and a par. Impressive here at the 4th for our final foursome.
LEDGESTONE. Every summer, hundreds of disc golfers flock to the greater Peoria, Illinois area to compete in the sport's richest and most charitable event, the LEDGESTONE Open. But what does LEDGESTONE look like for the rest of the year? On the surface, LEDGESTONE is one of disc golf's leading retailers, but look a little closer and you'll find a group of motivated individuals providing the best possible service to the disc golf community. So whether you're building a bag, wanting to support your favorite pro, or looking to add to your disc golf wardrobe, choose the retailer that's as passionate about the sport as you are. Choose LEDGESTONE.
Hole number 5, a par 4 now at 419 feet.
Definitely a placement shot here. We want to hit that very tight gap off of the tee to this landing zone right there at that dirt area next to that dead tree. Then to try to navigate our disc through this grouping of trees to land softly enough to stay on this very hard dirt mound. Even after all the rain, that's still really hard, and it's hard to get it to stay on top. It usually skips down into the creek behind the basket that does play as casual water. Stephanie gets a beautiful little approach shot with her putter to stay right on top.
She'll be looking down at the basket from there.
Holly going a little bit more aggressive with the Mako. Hits up on top, and you just don't know where that's going to slide. She got lucky and caught up and stayed up on top. Going a little further is actually kind of penalizing. I'm going a little bit of a hyzer shot with my AVR X3.
Settles there on that log.
Owen taking her JK, I believe is what she putts with, or just her AVR. Taking that Firebird, trying to get all the way down there.
Is that looking good, Jen?
She doesn't get it to stay up on top. It goes right over the basket and skips down into that creek, but she's going to have some footing, I think. Stephanie going with the putter doesn't hold up. She'll be right by the edge of that bridge. I actually let that go a little early for how stable that putter is. Was able to get over it and down into the creek as well.
Maybe nice, didn't it?
Now Holly.
Yeah, she goes pretty hot at this as well, and it's just hard to stay up on top. So that's just outside circle 1.
So the circle actually coming sort of into the creek area. Holly off the top of the basket. I point that out because some of these putts from down there in the creek aren't necessarily outside the circle. You look like you probably are here.
Yeah, the footing is not great down
No.
there. I had no room to put my second foot, so my back leg was up above the creek by like 3 feet. Using stretching out there. Stephanie able to throw in yet another birdie. That is 4 in a row for her to dominate this last 9 holes. Holly taking another big hard skip off of the basket. Now she's down in the water. So she's asking the rules on, do you get the relief up behind the hill? Do you, it being casual, just stick the foot in, which we saw Natalie Holocoy, who's actually out here with us. She was my caddy for the last day. She was able to stick her foot in and just smash this putt. Holly decides to take directly up, which is a very, very muddy and dangerous edge of the hill.
Yeah, super steep right there. Surprised she can get footing enough to stand at all.
She was struggling. She slid multiple times, but is able to focus and throw in an incredible bogey save.
I got you this.
Yeah, that was hard to get over to even. Owen tossing in that birdie putt. And I'm tapping in for par. As you can see, these baskets have that little bit more of an inner chain than the ones we had at McNaughton. So
Not the best.
able to putt on these a little bit harder than the other course.
Oh, now 14 strokes separating her from the rest of the field. And we're on to the 6th, the 321-foot par 3.
Yeah, you really want to try to hit a nice straight shot at this skinny little tree in the middle of the fairway. Then the hole slopes pretty strongly to the left where we find the basket. Staying up on top will give you a better look. If you make it all the way around and through the stuff on the left, you can kind of see the basket, but you actually have to go all the way down past it for that. Getting stuck tight on the left up top doesn't really allow you to see the basket for the second shot. Stephanie working that disc out straight. Doesn't get much hyzer back in, but that's a good place to be for a nice safe 3. Owen working her destroyer along that top right side, letting the disc skip all the way around.
On the long look for birdie.
I go with an understable disc to try to ride the fairway straight. I've been missing my line. This time I thought I hit it perfectly and just get a horrible kick from that big tree there in the middle. Holly going with a more understable disc as well, trying to ride it all the way through. She unfortunately gets hung up on that thick stuff on the top left that I was talking about. I can't remember. I think I'm like 100 feet. I did Bushnell it about 100 feet away. Give it a strong bid. There's a backstop there, so going all the way down, you can kind of run it. And it does open up down in front more than, unfortunately, where Holly is up on top. It's pretty thick, so she's going to have to try to pitch a really high hyzer or float a big turnover around. I think she went with the hyzer here. Yeah, you hear she had a lot to try to get through. Comes out clean enough to put her up by the basket. Stephanie not risking anything. She's played so well, so she's just going to lay that one up to tap in par.
There's Owen from 45 or so, just off the front of the cage.
Thank you.
Good cleanup from Holly there for the par.
Yeah, a lot of these holes really aren't long in distance, but sometimes the twos are very difficult to get.
Everybody else cleaning things up.
Yeah.
So a lot of tap-in pars here. And we're moving on to actually hole number 8. We'll be skipping hole number 7.
So here we are at hole number 8, a par 3 at 309 feet. Everything right here in front of you.
Yep, you try to keep your disc to fly nice and straight all the way through the woods here. Getting any kick left or right makes it a pretty difficult shot usually to get back out and save par. You can also go long here pretty easily as well. That does slope off quickly into the shadows.
Stephanie Vincent will tee first.
She's riding that right side of the fairway to get a hyzer back. Unfortunately, it goes a little bit long, so we'll see if she has a look back out. Owen referencing how Holly aced it on round number 1. Owen working the left side of the fairway with a turnover to try to get full distance down there. She's going to end up just outside circle 1. Going with a leopard 3 here that usually turns a lot more. So I was trying to turn mine along that left side like Owen. Unfortunately, it's held the straight line a little bit more. I'm going to be pin high, but about 45 feet off to the left in the stuff. Holly releases early and hopefully doesn't get too bad of a kick. Humidity today is like 98.967.
It is way up there. And the sun creeping out by this point in the day.
So Holly with some work to do through all of these trees off the fairway here. There's just not a lot of clean lines, so you have to kind of create your own. She's fortunate enough to get out there most of the way up towards the basket.
Yeah, the fact that she'll have a putt, great.
Owen's going to be running everything. This is just for fun and show now.
Good solid effort there.
I know, right?
Squirrels up above.
Yeah, I heard it, but I was already let go. Like, nothing I can stop.
That's probably the only reason she missed that putt.
The squirrels.
Yeah. So I'm down in kind of like a little low-lying creek area. Nothing really to work with, just pitching it out and saving my par.
This is Stephanie.
Yeah, she doesn't have really anything to work with either. So you really have to stay in the shortcut here on the 8th.
Holly, that par save falls off the wayside there.
Yeah, just a little low left side. All these baskets you have to hit at a certain spot, and that changes depending on the basket. She's had a lot of unfortunate spit outs this week. That's one more for a bogey here on the 8th hole.
Battle for second place beginning to form.
Play disc golf.
Pelaan frisbeegolfia.
Spill disc golf.
Ja.
To help recognize players of all ages and backgrounds, we are excited to announce the PDGA Global Master Series.
Beginning January 2023, anyone competing in a Masters division at a PDGA-sanctioned tournament will qualify.
You'll be ranked with other players in your division from around the world. And the player with the 8 highest rated rounds will become a PDGA Global Master Series champion.
Visit pdga.com/GMS.
Make sure you support Ace Run Pro. Join their Patreon. Keep these guys out and bringing you the content you're enjoying throughout this disc golf season. Patreon membership starts at just $3 a month. We are on to the 9th here at Northwood Blue, but playing as the 8th hole in this final 9, a par 3 at 354 feet.
Yeah, very difficult par 3. You want to really almost kind of hit a placement shot here at the bend of the hole to where that goes down to the right side, just over this little mound, and you want to kind of hit your shot up on that mound because it's a very steep, fast green behind the basket.
Once again, Stephanie will lead off.
Yeah, she's had a very strong final 9 so far, so she's playing nice and smart and safe, landing a shot right in the middle. Owen doing the same with a putter, but comes out a little late. Hopefully it sneaks out. She has a stroke or two. That doesn't matter.
Just 1 or 2.
I don't change up my game plan here. I go with a star TL, which I can make it, you know, almost all the way down to the basket with. Unfortunately, I get hung up a little bit too much on the left and get a bad kick off to Never Never Land. Holly coming in on that right side as well. I thought we were going to me. So Owen's probably in a little bit of it as well. A lot of stinging nettle and poison ivy here. They're just punching out, trying to get around the bend of the corner there.
That's well placed from Holly.
I tried to dive over to mine. Whew.
Oh no.
Stephanie pulls that just a little bit, needs it to get lucky. Well, does get a fortunate kick. At least she's
Yeah.
out in the middle.
She's going to stay out in the middle. I had no clue what I was walking into. These were the biggest stinging nettles I had ever seen in my life. I went to instant fire and I couldn't even get into them. It felt like it took me forever to try to get back in there, and even burning on fire, I really didn't even have anything. So at this point, I'm just throwing and seeing where it ends up. I had no hole, and I was literally arms, legs, everything on fire. So watch out for the stinging nettles. Owen giving a good punch out, staying close there.
Sarah Holcomb knows another plant that apparently you can mash up and rub.
Supposedly by
helps.
anything that is harmful to us, there's something in the wild that grows right by it that will counterbalance that. We couldn't find it. We looked the other day. I was with Sarah. We couldn't find it.
So here's Stephanie, her third.
Yeah, just
off to the side.
little short so it hyzers off. This plays more of a par 4 for us. Holly giving it a good run. Gets a small roll back around that back tree. This is about the longest turbo distance I think I've ever done.
Wow.
Was able to save it. I had a huge bush in front of me.
Trick shot. That's good.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just trying not to itch myself to death. Like
Right.
I was on fire.
Holly making good on a challenging putt to save that bogey.
Yeah, and again, these are all popping up as bogeys, but to us, it really does feel like more of a par.
So everybody bogeys, everybody stays in the same place relative to each other. We move on to our final hole.
Yeah, we're going back out to hole number 11.
Little race there for second place as we take a look at hole number 11, a 603-foot par 4.
Yeah, a Essing drive that you have to keep below these low branches, but opens up to the left more and then opens up to the right more as we approach the basket that's all the way down here in the shadows.
One more.
The 9 holes went really fast.
More. We just keep going.
Yeah, Holly ready just to play a few more holes. I think we're done.
Stephanie
Stephanie
taking
trying
the
to
box.
keep it nice and low to get through all of the branches. That's the main goal off the tee here. Owen had thrown an incredible roller the last time we played here. Unfortunately, the holes from Northwood and McNaughton are quite a bit different, so she had pulled that disc out of the bag, was unable to throw it today. I'm going with a Star Wraith, trying to work around the openings here. Catch that last branch up in the tree there on the right.
You're out in the middle, though.
Holly gets a lot of turn and found every open area she could that gets her out there on the right side. I was almost thinking, though, she's so far on the right side, she's almost going to be throwing up hole 10's fairway in reverse. So she may have a good open look from that side. Stephanie working back to the right side of the fairway because that's where it opens up, trying to hyzer it in.
Good job there.
So that wasn't as open as I thought it was going to be for her. She is on hole 10's fairway, though.
Oh.
Unable to keep that low enough to get around. I'm trying to do a strong, low punching hyzer on the right side with my Star Max.
Just kind of stayed out there, didn't hyzer for you.
Well, it just caught the really thick grass. I think it would have if it would have got some hard ground, got a big skip. Oh, it's going to work a nice low straight shot, catches the really thick grass as well. We've been out here all week. There's no mowing going on.
Nope. It's thicker than it was.
Yeah, it's grown an inch or two as well all week long with the rain. Holly just trying to get one all the way up there. And she does
nice. Nice little kick there. Down to the ground inside the circle.
Oh, just kind of pitching up as well.
Oh, drifting.
What if she'd have thrown it in? It's like, do we even tap out? Like,
what do you do? Stephanie here.
Yeah, just
pitching
trying
up.
to lay it up. She might have been trying to run at that, but I think she would have just tried to play it safe and seen if I would have made the mistake. I don't know. At that point, we were both about the same distance just for the layup. Holly saving par from well off to the right.
Stephanie finishes up a great showing at this World Championships.
Yeah, she had an incredible last couple of rounds out here.
One last turbo putt for you.
Yeah, if you had asked me at the start of the day where I would finish, I was just hoping for 4th, so I was pretty shocked to have worked my way back up the leaderboard. And I was very fortunate to be there to see both of her first and second FP40 Masters titles.
Champion, Scoggins!
Incredible golf all week long. Owen does not leave many mistakes out on the course.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for walking with us for the whole week. Thank you so much.
Congratulations from, among others, Joe Chargaloff, the executive director of the PDGA, and already signing autographs.
So I was her first signature on that disc. It stayed in my bag, and now she marked it out and put her 2 time.
Oh, that's the change. There you see how the final 4 shaped up with Owen Scoggins, a commanding 14-stroke victory here at the 2022 PDGA Masters Disc Golf World Championships in the FP40 division.
Owen, myself, Stephanie, Holly, nice long last day out here in Peoria.
Several more majors to come this calendar year. Make sure you don't miss a minute of the action by following the PDGA on all of our social channels and right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching.